Hello? For some reason it's echoing. Hello? Yeah, Arun, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
I can hear you now. Yeah. Can you hear me, Arun? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you, Arun.
Yeah. You're audible. Your voice was coming. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yesterday,
okay.
I wanted to say, your audio
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
not at all clear, actually.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I gathered that also after the recording.
Today
So
is much better.
I switched to I switched to other microphone now.
Okay, okay. I know,
Okay.
Yeah, previous classes like we had at 10 o'clock and then 10:30 only the class started. Maybe people are like thinking that the class is at 10 o'clock or 10:30. So maybe today
Okay.
like you can specify like if you want to have a class at 9:45 EST,
Yeah, yeah,
7:50.
I had declared that in the subject line itself, I had written that 9:45 so that at earliest by 10 we should be able to start. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe you can today you can tell in that today's class also so that everybody starting from
Yeah,
next week can join early.
sure, sure. Everyone is requested that please follow 9:45 time maximum by 10 p.m. so that we can have some extra time to complete the demonstration.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I guess we all are here. Only Varuna is remaining. So, yesterday we had started with the cloud, and before proceeding to the cloud security, we first go to cloud computing and the essentials. So that is why I took one session on how exactly cloud is useful. So that part we had just started, and in the last previous session, we talked about what are the different clouds and what are the services of the cloud and what is the advantages, maybe need of the cloud. So this part we did. I'll just share one slide so that we can start from that point. Okay, so already we talked about that cloud is following this three model actually, and that is referred as IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. So infrastructure, platform as a service, and software as a service. So when I talk about infrastructure, that is just the compute power, which will have CPU plus RAM, and then we have storage, and by default you will have some dependency like network. So all these things are altogether is referred as what? Bare metal. So if you're just looking for infrastructure as a service, then you are having bare metal. Okay. So that is just we are taking from the cloud or we are renting from the cloud, and now we are uh, using our own team of experts to install a particular software, a particular operating system, then do some dependency further to create the environment, and then further we put our API or the software or the web app or the application. So that goes till software as well. But if you are taking all these things, even the operating system plus extra dependency, then it is platform as a service. And if you are taking even the software, then it will be software as a service. Nowadays, there are multiple things already coming into picture, that is anything as a service. So we define that as XaaS. Okay. So these three models we got to know in the last session that there are three service models. We call them as service models, right? Then we talked about how evolution of the way works. Then we talked about deployment models. So when I talk about deployment models, that says that how exactly we are using it. So we have four types of deployment model. So one is public cloud, second is private cloud deployment model, third is the hybrid model, which is combination of these two, and then the last we have community cloud. So all these cloud deployment models are ensuring that how exactly your uh, data or your organization is operating. If you are having, if you have opted service from the, let's say, the public providers like AWS, Azure, Google, and that is accessible to individual as well and enterprise as well, then it is public cloud. When it is private cloud, at that time you don't have, this connection is not there, only within or intra intra access is there. Cloud, your compute service, your storage service, your database service, all these services will be there, but they are only meant for within the premise or within the means their presence is global, but that is for uh, closed thing. So that is called as intra cloud. So that is for maybe a pharma company, maybe a specific program in the government, or maybe any research work or somewhere. So they all are using private cloud. So IBM, Oracle, or many of them are there as a private cloud. Okay. Then there is community cloud. So if I talk about community cloud, that is the first I'll cover the hybrid cloud. So this is the third model, third type of cloud, which is called as hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is combination of public and private both. So it is like government. So some part of uh, cloud is there, which is accessible to the user as well, to the enterprise as well, and some part of the cloud is there, which is within the organization. So we have two public model over here, one and two, and third one is intra. So that is called as hybrid cloud, mixture of cloud deployment. And fourth one is the community cloud. Now, when I talk about community cloud, here you have extra users who are also the contributor who can also access this. Okay. So that forms the community cloud. So you have private or public cloud as well as you have the users from outside the network. All are contributing to a particular cause. Maybe everyone is contributing to cities, environment, and something like that. And you have that model up and running onto the cloud. So that comes with the community cloud. So these are the four deployment models. We have public cloud, we have private cloud, we have hybrid cloud, and fourth one is community cloud, right? So I guess that we had just covered. So I revised that topic. Now coming on to the type of cloud. So actual player who are there in the market. So we are having in the public domain. So in public domain, we have three major players who are called as AWS, Azure, and GCP. So in the last session, I talked about how exactly these three giant companies are there who are offering the cloud services, and every cloud service has got certain terminology, and with that terminology, let's say if I want to open an account, so in Microsoft Azure it is referred as subscription, while in AWS it is referred as account, and in GCP it is referred as project. Same way, if you are opting for any virtual resource, yeah, virtual hardware, we are using VMware technology, that is virtualization technology. So we are using virtual machine, that is called as resource. In AWS, it is referred as EC2 instance, and in Google, it is called as Google Compute Engine. Same way, there is availability zone. We call them as AZ in one, and there are the region that is called as geographic location. So geographic location may be lesser than, it is always lesser than the AZ, but within one geographic location there can be more than two or three availability zone. That is to ensure the redundancy, backup, and the any standby. So that is why availability zones are within one region you may find more than two availability zones, and every day these numbers are increasing, means as per the planning within the public cloud of these respective companies, they keep on enhancing their services and their presence on to global geographic region, and they keep on adding different availability zone. So till this part we did all these terminologies. Similarly, if you want to see the network related any setup in Azure, it is called as virtual network. In short, we understand that VNet. In AWS, it is called as virtual private cloud, and in GCP, it is referred as virtual private cloud network. So these you may find these names a bit nearer to each other. Then there is lease line. So there is these three important connections. This is very important as a part of this cloud, because maximum time you are having data center. You may have a local data center which need to be connected to the cloud. So you have to have this connection type. Okay. So this will help you to connect your local data center to the cloud. So, because when we go on to the cloud, we have certain issues or certain requirements. Okay, so I'll just tell you here. This is, let's say, local data center. This is maybe the server or a particular company, a pharma company having their compute services, app servers, data servers, whatever it is, but it is located locally. Now that company has opted for cloud data center or cloud service it has opted. So in the cloud service, again, you are having the same compute engine and other things, storage service, database service. Now you have to connect from this to this, because you want to make the connection, you want to port your data, or you are to communicate. Sometime you may require something onto the cloud and something onto the local data center. So that is that this connection has to be very secure. And in internet we do tunneling, which is in other word referred as VPN. But here you have to transmit. Okay, so just not by uploading something or this, because we have to use file transfer protocol. So that time we have these three services: express route, direct connect, and cloud interconnection. So these three are helpful over here. So here we are using express route, or we are using direct connection service, direct connection, or we can use cloud interconnection. So these three are the different names from each of the cloud to connect your local data center to this. Again, whenever we are doing, you have to remember one more thing, that since we are dealing with the security aspects also, so whenever you are doing something onto the local data center, then you have got no issues because you have already adhered to their compliance. But if you are going onto the cloud, so as per cloud, wherever its presence is there, as per the AZ, you have to follow what? You have to follow different federal law and compliance. So if you want to follow all these things for the cloud, then you have to adhere to their respective norms. So that is called as compliance model. Okay. Now we'll go to that detail. Okay. So till now, these things are very common to each of the cloud system. Now we are going for the specific cloud, which is AWS. So we have already talked about last time that AWS is Amazon Web Services, and we are going to use this for understanding of our cloud security demonstrations as well. And this is what these are the AZs which are there. Okay. So one there is like this is one region, and in that region there are the multiple AZs. Okay. Similarly, there is Europe, there is South America, South Africa, then Australia. All these are the different regions. Within those regions, we will be having different AZs. Okay. So it is continuously expanding procedure. All the cloud companies are trying to make the regions and availability zones, and they are trying to offer the better services across the globe. Is that okay, everyone? Are you following us?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So same goes for the Azure type of Azure also. See the reasons. These are the reasons within the reason you multiple AZs is also there, and multiple availability zone is also there. Again, Azure is also now competing with the AWS. So first at first level there is AWS. Okay, second place is Azure. So Azure is grabbing almost more than so joined hand. So GCP is already there. It was there. It was offering its own private cloud, like we have Gmail service, we have Google Drive service, we have Photos service, we have multiple services of Google, but that is they were not offering the compute power and storage, storage or database. Now they are offering all these things together, and they are giving us again. In few times we can see Google's market value also, market or penetration is also increasing into the cloud services. And meanwhile, AWS is on the top. In entire US is maximum onto AWS because it has started way back, and they have kept on adding various services. Nowadays, we have even certain AI and machine learning tools also that is into the AWS. Azure has also started that. Okay, so these are the things related to reason and availability zone. Okay. Then I'll come back to this landing zone and security included. Once we'll start with the uh, basic demonstration part. Okay, so I'll just exactly we can go for. So like AWS dot Amazon.com, if I write like that, this is the very first way of doing login in any cloud system. So I'm starting AWS. I want to start AWS service. So first of all, I have to make one account. I have told you all yesterday that when we open any account in AWS, we call them as root account. So this is how we can go to create AWS account. So if I go to create AWS account, so this is how we can go to create AWS account. So if I go to create AWS account, so I'll be getting where you want to I want to log in into root account or I want to log in into IAM user account. So two type of accounts are there here. So root account is the main account. If you are opening very first time, you have to start with the root account, but make sure you don't forget that password and you don't share with anyone else. Otherwise, your entire account will get compromised. If you are a company, if you are an organization, you are having only one root account, and within that root account you can create multiple users for your employee, for the manager, for the developer, for the sales team or something like that. So they are called as IAM users. Okay, therefore that is within the account that performs the daily task. So this is how you have to use it. Okay, so you can just use this root user email address, that is your email address. Once you put that your email address, then you can. So let's say I'm putting one email address over here and I'm trying to log in. So it is asking me that put your password, since that account was already there, but now I want to sign up. So whenever you want to sign up, you are actually opening one root account for yourself. And whenever there is a root account, make sure you use proper credentials, which is passwords and other things. And please don't try to forget that. Okay, otherwise there will be trouble. Okay, it is same like uh, iPhone user account that you have created. Same way. So you have to first put in your user email, then you have to put in your name to verify that email, and then on the next phase you have to use the credit card credentials that will block $1 amount for 24 hours. Later it will release that amount and you will be eligible for this free tier product. So free tier product you will get for every new account for 1 year span of time, 365 days right from you have started. So if you do that, so then we'll get this kind of account and we'll get this dashboard. So I'll just show you the dashboard, how exactly it will look like. So after doing sign up, you will get this. So whenever we log in into AWS, by default, we are getting one dashboard. We have three different way of logging into any cloud services. One is console. This is called as console method where you put login, user ID and password. Second is CLI command where you are using but you are using command line interface, and there you have to use one specific key. Without that key you will not be able to log in into that service. That is called as PEK or PEM file. Same, I'll tell you how exactly when we try to log in through that. Now this is the console. Last time I have already told you that here this black strip is very important. This shows who is the user, whether you are IM account holder. Second, you can select the region. How to select the reason and availability zone, that is based on what? Anyone recalls? Can anyone just give me certain idea that how do we select the reason or AZ in any of the cloud system?
Where you're trying to host your services in whichever country you're trying to host in.
Yeah, so how do we decide that which country we need to host it? That depends upon our business model, right? That depends upon our number of users. If my number of users are maximum in US only, then I should be selecting US as my availability zone or region. So in US, we have 4 different AZs. 4 different, these are the within the regions we can tap into that. So this is, but when you open your free account or free tier account, at that time you'll get only US West one, only these two. One is North Virginia and one is North California. Only these two. Here are, because they have ample amount of infrastructure and they can offer all these free tier services. But if you select Mumbai or India customer or from your free account, no problem, you can use it. Okay. But many of the services may not be active for that reason. So sometimes you are restricted if you are using certain specific service which is not available in that particular region of that AZ. That time you have to shift into the US or maybe Frankfurt, Europe, that kind of capable region or availability zone. Then you have to understand that there you may have some delays or some very small delay or some latency while your app is operating, while your software is operating. Then we talked about settings. Then this is help or support. Then there is notification. This is very important. That will help us to immediately identify what are the health events. So if we have any open schedule changes, all these things will come here. And then there is one CLI also, that is called as Cloud Shell. So this is Cloud Shell. When I use this, it will give me a black window and with the cursor. But if you are administrator, you must be knowing how exactly these commands are. Okay, so 90% of time, Cloud Shells or any other shell is maximum using the Linux command system. And I request everybody to. It will not take let's say more than 1 hour if you want to learn anything Linux command. Okay, so there is a topic called as Linux shell scripting. Okay, so you can search for this topic, Linux shell scripting, and it will help you to there are various commands, but maybe top 50 commands you can just practice in any of the Linux system. And if you don't have Linux system, no problem. When you open your AWS root account, you can install Ubuntu or any Linux system there, and you can practice those codes onto cloud or here itself. Okay, so here you need to type the command. So this is okay. So here you can go for like user or ls command, that is for listing out. Okay, and then if you want to connect, so you have to use the connect. Then you have to use a specific IP address to which services you want to connect. and after that you have to provide the login credential as well. So that time you have to provide with some extra uh, key pass. Okay. So at the time of cloud, I'll tell you how exactly we are doing. And finally, we are on to the services. There are plenty of services. Very first, we are interested to secure computation power, because if anybody get access to compute power, they can use your compute services and you will be charged. If you are an organization, you have to make sure that extra computing is not going as a waste. Okay, so your cloud architect engineer, your cloud admin engineer, your cloud security engineer, your cloud DevOps engineer, all those has should use the compute power in precise manner. And the only services should be left running which is required for your users or for your customers, for them only. If you know that my customers are going to use this web applications, so you leave the web server running. That's all. But if you are running web server in the behind backend, you are also running some extra app servers also, and you forget to stop that. So there will be billing continuously on the every minute, every hour, and every number of input and outputs. There are different way of billing for each of the services. Okay, so very first service that I want to use here is called as EC2. Whenever you are trying to use this EC2 service, you have to make sure that you are securing this also in a broader manner. Then only, because when you launch any EC2 service, that is required to be secured. Otherwise, anyone can log in into your EC2 engine. It is like your laptop. So make sure your laptop is not accessible to any other person. Why are you avoiding this? That is for the data theft. But here in this case, it is not data theft. It is a compute theft. So whenever you are trying to use this EC2 service, it is not data theft. It is a compute service. Whenever your server is crashing or not reaching to your CPU or RAM, that is called as bare metal. So whenever you start using this EC2 service, you have to make sure that you are securing this EC2, the very first service of this. Then you will get this very first one is called as EC2 dashboard. When you have this EC2 dashboard, there is EC2 instances. Many services are running. You have to be very, very cautious while using this instances which are running, because they are attracting the charges, they are attracting the bills. Okay, so that is the reason when I click on which to, I see those services immediately. I have to check whether and I should be stopping that. Okay, so till now we have reached to one of the service. What is AC2? I'll tell you in the details. I have just taken the name of this service. It is called as Elastic Cloud Compute. Means it is a server, sorry, it is a processor with the RAM which is elastic in nature. As per the load, it can enhance. It can go to higher side. If you think that your CPU power is now lesser and your data traffic or number of requests is increasing, so you can increase the compute 2 core to 4 core, 8 core processing, and you can boost your RAM from 4 GB to 8 GB to 16 GB to 32 GB like that. Okay, so is this clear? Are you all with me till now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, others, is it fine?
Yes. Yeah.
Others, please confirm if you are able
Yes.
to. Okay, okay. So I'll tell you, whenever you click on any of the service, okay, so it will give you some information. the options. So here you will get state. Okay. So when you go here, you have to go here as instant state. When you go to this instant state, you will get there. Running and I don't want to attract the extra charges. So then I have to select the stop. Okay. So I have to stop the instance. So it is giving me options like stop instance. Since it is already started, so start is disabled. Reboot the instance or terminate the instance. When I click terminate, it will delete this processor permanently. But if I stop it, so I will be able to run it again whenever required. So right now I'm just stopping it. So whenever I'm stopping, it is uh, giving me the confirmation whether you want to stop, and then I can stop that service. Once I stop, it will show that out of these two services, one service has been stopped. Okay, so see here it is written stopping, and there is a machine name, there is some alarms we can set up, and the availability zone, what is there. All these things we'll just get to know once we set up our own EC2 instance in the demo, okay, within next 5 minutes. So it is stopped now. Okay. So now we can start this service later, and I can use this service. And if this service is up and running, I can just select the service and I can connect this service. When I press this button connect, then this server will be up and running and you can use it globally. Okay. So before that, I need to just give you some uh, so please just be with these terminologies. Then we will go to the demonstration part. So we all know that AWS organizations are having certain terminology. Same goes for Azure, same goes for Google as well. Every organization is having one main account which is called as root account. And from this root account, you have different organizational unit. We call this as OU. And everyone is having some AWS account with that. AWS account, AWS account, AWS. What are these AWS accounts called as? Can anyone tell me? Other than root, what was the else account name?
I am.
AMS.
Yes, right. So we have another account which is called as IAM, Identity Access and Management. So it is like you have your admin into laptop, admin user, and then you are configuring it for some other users. So maybe let's say in your laptop you have three different users, and if sales team is coming, they are logging in with that password. Other team is coming with login with that password, and if you want to install something, then you are using your admin account. Same goes here also as AWS. So organizations are using different uh, hierarchy, and these hierarchies are giving these kind of features and benefits. So whenever we put anything in proper structured manner, we have some advantages and we have some benefits, because we can control that account by using policy based management. We can control that account by using group based management. We can also use some application programming interface, rather called as API. With that API, we can access our web servers, and then there is consolidated billing. So all these things are beneficial if we follow proper organization, proper hierarchy or structure. So that is well given by the AWS. You don't have to worry. And security with AWS organization. This is our topic. So we have to, very first thing is go with the IAM. All the cloud-based admins, if you are opting any job in the cloud admin, The very important means 80% of the team workforce is there into IEM, whether it is audit related, whether it is user related, whether it is billing related, logging and monitoring, all these comes under this IEM policy. So IEM policy is enabling us to allow or deny the access of AWS service, whether it is for a particular user, whether it is for entire group, maybe a team, whether it is for a particular role. Sometimes one person may have different role. Same person has got the sales role, same person has got the admin role as well, same person has got the billing role as well. So that person is now having three different roles. But we have to make sure that IEM policies are enabling it to access the right amount of data. We don't want people to have the access of unnecessary extra data or extra amount, because there may be some consequences later that we'll discuss. So similarly, there is service control policies, SCPs, and we have to make sure that SCPs are there onto the right place. Okay, so all these things are related to security with AWS organizations. This is on to the higher level, top level. In the top level, policies are being decided. Then there is execution, and then there is rules. Okay, so as you can see here, stepwise, any organization, first you create the organization, then you divide them into units, then you put on the SCPs, service control policies, and then you test the restrictions. Restriction testing is continuous process, even it is repeated at certain interval. This is called as audit process also. Okay, are you following on? Can you please confirm? Is it right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So whenever we go into any of the cloud service, here we are using AWS organization. So here you can see certain limits that you need to know. Means every cloud person should know this. What is this cloud is having? So very first thing that your names must be Unicode character. What is Unicode character? That means you are having capital A to capital Z, you are having small a to small z, and you are having 0 to 9 numbers and some special characters. But please remember one thing, in AWS, every time have the practice of writing username, account name, any file name, any folder name, everything by not using space. Please do not use space bar. Okay, so let's say if I want to rename any folder as, let's say, Guru School folder. So I should be writing Guru dash schools. I should can be I can also write Guru underscore schools. I can write Guru School 1. I can school Guru School 100 and something. But I should not be writing Guru space school. Space is not allowed, because this will create lot of trouble, and that is why they have restricted this directly. Please do not use space while writing. If you write any project file name, let's say my CV, so my underscore CV it should be there. My CV, if you write space in between, it may collide with, means it may, in the search index it will not be counted, and then there will be trouble. So please ensure that you do not to use space bar. Then name should not exceed 250 characters in length. So definitely we will be within the range. And then here we are having number of AWS account. It may vary how exactly you are using. How many root account is possible? Only one. How many organizational unit is possible? Organizational units 1000. So what is this 1000 amount of accounts? There are 1000 IAM accounts. It means if you are having one free tier account, you can create uh, easily up to 1000 different IAM accounts, and each IAM accounts can be given different roles. Some are meant for billing, some are meant for in your company for sales, some are meant for some other purpose, admin purpose, management purpose, so many things. Okay, and if you are having 1000 IAM accounts, definitely you will be having 1000 different policies as well. And the maximum size of SCP, that is called a service control policy, that should be up to this much byte. One byte is equal to 8 bits. So you just multiply this with the 8, you will get that many bits. Or in other word, it is 5120. So it is very close to how much? 5 megabytes, right? Then there is nesting. Nesting means within one organization or within one account, you're placing another account. So there can be 5 level of hierarchy under the root account. From the root, means from the main account, you can go up to 5 level of nesting. Nesting means within one organization, you are creating one more organization. Let's say within the admin, you are using one is HR, one is some other admin, one is authorizing sales or something like that. So you can go up to 5 levels down. Number of invitations you can send means per employee. IM accounts you can invite for 20 maximum. Okay. You can create concurrently means simultaneously maximum 5 at one time. And how many entities you can attach to a policy? That is unlimited. Means the roles can be assigned at unlimited number of times. So this is for AWS. Same goes for Azure. In the Azure as well, you will be having similar kind of things. Okay, you will be having one subscription, one then you will have a different IAM account. There it is called as resources. So you will be having different resources. Okay, so this is how this goes. AWS is compatible with 90% of the cloud structure. That is why we should be more understanding to from the AWS perspective when we are trying to learn the cloud. Okay, so I hope this is this we should remember. Okay, meanwhile, I'll just come back to this slide again and again so that we can have this understanding.
So
Now,
if you have more than 1000 IAM user account, how do we do that? There
we
may
can
be.
then we have to open one more root account. We have to purchase one more root account, and then only you can go for next 1000 IAM accounts. So if it is a very large company and they all are completely onto the cloud, so they can have more than one root accounts. Of course, their billing and everything part will be totally different.
Okay.
Then there comes how exactly you will use. So please understand this is the ways of login. How exactly you will be logging in. So very first thing is AWS Management Console. This is very famous and very easy. AWS Management Console is very famous, very easy. This is the same as the website. How will you reach to this? aws.amazon.com. This is the website. You just recall this. You will get one very proper username, password, and everything. That is called as Management Console. But if you are using some server, okay, and you are onto the server desktop, have you ever seen any server desktop? Onto server, there is no screen. There is no uh, like a window screen like that. There is a black window with the cursor blinking. There you have to write the commands. So then at that time you can use AWS CLI tools. That is called as command line interface. And then third method is very interesting, which is called as software development kits. So many time your AWS services is needed by certain softwares. Let's say you have created one software and that software needs to access the database. And let's say that database server is actually you have put it on the cloud. So now that software has to communicate with the cloud server and it should be able to access the database which is stored there onto the cloud. So this time you are not doing this thing. You are not logging into your own cloud account. Who is doing that? That software itself is doing. So that time, this SDK software development kits are helpful. So you have to give this software development kit your key value, key pair, and with that key pair only it will be able to enter in your account. So that time you have to make sure you are not giving your root account, rather than you have created one IAM account for this software development kit, like Eclipse if you are using Java, like the like VB Visual Basics and Visual Studio and Android Software Development Kit SDK, Android Development Kit or Web Development Kit, whatever it is. So whenever any software wants to take the access onto the cloud, you have to use this third method. And fourth method is this HTTPS query application. This is nowadays evolving because nowadays we are mostly dependent upon to APIs. What is API? They are middleman between your server and your screen. So on your screen, you will have some option. You click on that option or you enter that option. It will communicate to the web server and it will return exactly the same thing what you have asked from the web server. Let's say in the website, you are having one tab which is called as Contact Us. So moment I click on us, which page should appear? Web page should come, which is having the contact number, maybe the location of your organization. So that is one page which is requested by you. So API is helpful to get that, retrieve that. Because if you are directly connected to web server, you have to have a proper structure how to recall the things. So that is where API comes in picture. And very famous API model which everyone is using right now, we are using is called as REST API. Okay, so no need to worry about, only DevOps engineer needs to know what is REST API, how exactly its response and other things are working. Otherwise, AWS account or AWS services inside the account takes care of all these things. So we don't have to worry about it, right? Now, billing and cost, this is just for advice that everyone should understand that billing and everything, you have to monitor it constantly. There is a team in every company who have opted cloud services. The team is continuously making the policy, making the rule, and so that they can get the alarm whenever that service crosses this much dollar, this much rent amount, or something like that. Because we have to keep a close tab on the billing and the cost so that we can manage it. Okay, so let's say there is a website. Okay, so like Amazon.com, a shopping website. So they have made the alarm system in place that these many users, because see how exactly billings are generated, that is depending upon how much use is going on there. So if let's say more number of users are requesting to the database, the number of input outputs will be more. That is called as IO. So if IO is increased, their charges will increase. Okay. So this is somewhat a dashboard of billing will look like, and you can see uh, you will be having like a month-wise comparison. last month forecast. So this is last month bill, this is current month bill, and this is upcoming month bill. That is just the forecasted one. And see here monthly to date spent by services. This is very important. That will help you to understand this elaboration will give you understanding that which services are attracting maximum charges. Can you identify EC2 over here? That is one of the compute service. So compute service is attracting maximum charges. Why? Because in every action, you have to use the compute power. You have to use the compute service. That is why security of the compute service is very, very important. That is we are going to do in our cloud security. Okay. So moving on further. So that was just for the billing shape. Okay. Uh, Don't worry, there are lot of inbuilt apps which will take care of this. So these are the different tools: AWS budget tool, cost and uses report, cost explorer. Cost explorer is very important because sometimes you don't know that which who is causing you the billing. So you can use cost explorer. Moment you click on any bill, it will tell you because of which service you are getting this bill. So this is monthly bill, how exactly it will look like. Okay. So this is $10, $15 like that. And you can have the forecast track as well. It will tell you that how much budget you have to preserve for the next. Okay. So these things are okay. Uh, then there is different technical supports from the Amazon. If you have created your AWS account, you can use some of the support system. The very first support system is TAM. Okay, technical account manager. You can get connect to that person anytime. And second is you should always use this AWS trusted advisor. They are giving this service so that you do not uh, do any mistake while setting up your services. Whenever you are doing any service, it will give you the prompt that this should be like this. So if you follow that, maximum time your cloud hierarchy, cloud architecture, cloud security, cloud administrative work will be in fashion or in order. Then there is support also. So you can opt for assistance also if you want. Okay. And rest things are just like AWS has just giving. And so I'll just ask for a knowledge check over here. Okay. So which AWS service provides infrastructure security optimization recommendation? Can anyone jump on this and answer A, B, C, D out of that?
D.
Okay. Anyone else? Infrastructure security optimization recommendation can be given by whom? API is not there, right? Reserved instances is the type of instance. Amazon Elastic Cloud Compute, that is called EC2. Spot fleet means it is on the spot cab service. Means sometime Amazon services are having unused processing power and they are giving you at that in spot itself. Means you want compute power and immediately it was available and you will be given that. It may be because of spot fleet. Spot fleet means what? You're taking on the spot cab. It may offer you small fare also, or you have to pay the higher fare also. But this is not related to security optimization. So we are now left with only one thing, that is trusted advisor. So every time security aspects optimization is done by this tool, trusted advisor, and whether you want it or not, it is their job to advise you continuously. Let's say you want a recommendation, So when you use this recommendation, you can use this trust advisors. Okay. So I'll show you the demo. Within the demo, you will see how the pop-ups are coming and it will helping us to set up any engine. Okay. So there are some additional resources that I wanted to tell. I'll just take 30 more seconds to tell you all this. Okay. Please understand everything, each and everything is there onto aws.amazon.com. Okay. There is a uh, tab called as documentation uh, amazon.com. Please refer this tab documentation. You will find each and everything very much updated, not outdated. If you refer YouTube, if you refer Google, you may get some other link which is not that much updated, because dashboard is sometimes they are enhancing, they are doing some revamp of the dashboard. So that time you will see the options at different place. So whenever you see, this is like every time documentation, they are giving you the white papers. Each and every company releases something called as white papers, even for Python, even for HTML, everywhere. So try to read only white papers for each of the company. So in documentation, you will find everything. Even this PPT is from there only. Okay. So that whenever you are in doubt, please go to documentation and refer that. Okay. So I'll just switch it, because our today's main topic is related to global infrastructure, where that we did already. I'll just quickly switch the slides so that we just recall what we have. Global infrastructure means region. So we have different regions. AWS is having different geographic area. Region is a geographic area. Every geographic area is having what? Two or more availability zones. Then while selecting the region, you have to take care of these things. Where is your maximum number of users? Are you following the data governance in that area of that continent or of that country? Okay, so that is called as compliance model. Then availability zone. So within one region, let's say Europe East West one is one region. Within that, there is one availability zone, and in one availability zone, you are having three different data centers. Same thing will be there into these two different availability zone as well. You can keep a copy of your data center into different availability zone. Even if you do not do, sometime if you use particular service, they deliberately do it. They use multiple AZs to provide the backup or redundancy. Then AWS data centers are designed for what? Securities. The security is very important aspect. Okay. Every data center is having typically 50,000 to 80,000 physical servers. So when I say security, it includes physical security, it includes cyber security, both. So in cyber security, there is a cloud security. Okay. So whatever is applicable to the network security, data security, all those are also coming into cloud security, along with how to use a cloud. So point of presence, I have already shown you that uh, logging login page only. Then this is how their features are. No problem. So we are looking on to what? Foundational services. And in that, I was talking about very first service which we want to secure is called as compute service. Later we'll talk about storage service, and then we'll talk about networking. So these three are the areas where we need to provide the services. Okay. And these are the different category of services. The one which are highlighted are the actual or very much required minimum thing that every cloud engineer should know, every cloud practitioner must know. These are these highlighted services we all should know. The very first one is compute, processor, how to decide the processor. Second thing is about the database. Third thing is about identity, security, compliance, and all this. Fourth thing is about networking. And fifth thing is about storage. And then finally, the cost management. So, and the governance, this comes under compliance. Actually, these seven and three are related. We can take the help of anyone. And these services are minimum services that everyone should know, then only they can uh, get any role into the cloud. Is it fine? Are you all understanding?
Yes.
Okay. So later these services I'll explain later on. Right now we are on to the compute service of AWS, and in that we are going on to the very first service called as how to set up Amazon EC2 instance. Because if we don't know how to set up EC2 instance, we cannot talk about the security related to it. So that is why we have to first know how to use this EC2. There are other compute services also. There is EC2 with auto scaling feature. There is Elastic Container Service. There is Elastic Container Register. Elastic Beanstalk is very famous one. Then Lambda is also very famous one. And then EKS, that is called Kubernetes. When we For that you should know this container Dockers and then come to Kubernetes and then this Fargate. So all these are what compute services means. They're giving us some options, but they're also having certain processing in it. And because of that processing, you have to you will be attracting certain charges. You have to pay some amount of charges also for all these services because they're the main center of the any outcome, that is the processing. So very first one is Amazon EC2 that will be going to perform. Then similarly there is database services which is offered by AWS. So initially AWS was not offering the database. Later they realized 90% of websites are down because of the database error, and that is because they are somewhere else. So they have started offering database services also. Rather than using your own MySQL or SQL database servers, please use my AWS database server. They have RDS, that is called as relational database server. They have Auror. They have DynamoDB. This is very famous. And then there is Redshift also. So DynamoDB is nowadays very famous non-structured SQL. Okay, where you keep on dumping any data without any following any rows and column structure. You put your data. Okay, so it is like you are putting anything in your room with any manner. You are not organizing the things, but still you are able to get it because every particular unit is every data is having some tag on it, and that tag is very unique. So that is why DynamoDB is non-structured, non-SQL type of database, and it is very famous. Again, we have to talk about the security related to database as well. And then third thing, which is there, you do not ask, but it is there. Whenever you want to do anything onto internet, onto the cloud, definitely this networking will come in backend. You don't realize, but without networking, we cannot do anything. Even we are connected because of the networking, because of the packet, because of the content delivery services. So Amazon is using this. You have to know this service, otherwise, no one can survive in the cloud. That is virtual private cloud, Amazon VPC. Then there are some other services also. CloudFront is there, Gateway is there, VPN is there. Direct connect is very important, which is helpful to connect your local data center to the cloud data center. And Amazon Route 53 is very important. Again, it is the DNS. I'll tell you later on whenever we use this service. Okay, so domain name is also required to be computed. So Amazon VPC. So means in every category we have to know at least one service, and we should know how to secure them as well. That is the cloud security. And then finally, the very important one is this IAM security. There is two part of IAM security. One is normal IAM security, one is advanced IAM security. In both of them, we have to know as per our cloud security. Then there is a KMS, that is key management service. It is helping you to store the passwords and all. AWS Shield is like antivirus. Artifacts is also there. Cognito, it is meant for without revealing much identity. And organization is like your root account. So this IAM is very important. So again, we have to know this security, compliance, and required things. Then cost management, of course, we have to know any one service, how my costing are coming into the AWS. Because if you have secured your resources well, then only you can guarantee onto the cost management. Otherwise, it may get hacked. Somebody may come with DDoS attack. Somebody may uh, deliberately put in maximum request, and your firewall or your system is not able to identify. You will get maximum billing of it. That is the one disadvantage. Only two disadvantages is there for the cloud. First disadvantage is the internet, because if you are not having proper internet, you cannot use these services. All these will fail if you reach to some place where internet is not there. Second thing is about this attacks or hacking. Okay, so you have to be very cautious about attacks. Why? Because here there is no restrictions. If you have used auto scaling function, your resource power will keep on expanding. Your billing will keep on expanding, and there is no actual customer. That is just a common attack. So that is why costing and billing management helping us to understand why my bill is going so fast, and then you need to introspect, then you need to go for audit, and then you need to identify using cost explorer who is giving you this much charge. So that is there. And finally, the governance services. So Amazon has offered these many tools. You can use many of them in your free tier account as well. Okay, this is also a part of cloud security where you have to do the compliance. Okay, governance and compliance both are required. Governance ensures that any time or every time your root account has the permission to look into anybody's account and understand what is going on. Governance is happening at the top level, management level, and compliance is set by different government and policies. Okay, so now let us go to uh, services, and I'll just go with different things. Okay, so I'll talk about this later on. So now I'll show you how to set up EC2 instance. Okay, so are you all with me now? Till now?
Yes.
Yes.
Can we go ahead?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let us start with setting up EC2 instance. the very first demonstration that how do we secure the compute engine or compute power. So if you want to secure the compute power, very first service you need to install any laptops wherever you. So I'll go to the search box of this. I'll type EC2. Same thing you can do with your account as well later on once you see this demo. So I click on EC2. This is the virtual server or virtual laptop or virtual data, virtual CPU which is allocated to you. So whenever, let's say I'm purchasing a new laptop now, I have gone to a shop and I am explaining my requirements and accordingly I'm taking one instance or one laptop. Same thing here, AWS service power, and that is called as EC2 instance. So what I'll do, I will start with the whenever you please make instance. So very first thing, and you have to click on this. It will do that part. So let us start with this first one. This is called as launch instance. I have clicked on this launch instance. Before clicking the launch instance, you should also understand what is my current region. My current region is North Virginia. So if I'm selecting North Virginia, this instance is valid only for that reason. Later you launch any other instance and you select different reason, then you have to, like if you are using Mumbai or if you are using Ohio, then EC2 will not be visible, which you have selected for made for North Virginia. However, you can find all the EC2 instances into the dashboard. So now very first thing I have to write the name of the server. So this server ka name I have to put. So what should I put? And what is the requirement? Uh, while putting any name, what was the precaution that we need to take? Anyone can tell?
No space.
No space is the only criteria, correct? So I'll be writing web, and also one more thing, we should also avoid writing underscore because usme you have to use the shift button in that. So we do not want to use it. So that is why always use dash dash simple hyphen. So web dash server, okay, dash one. I think okay. So this is the name of the server now. Okay, I this see by writing web server, it is not going to become web server until we install all the dependency. This is just the name I have given. Okay, and then second step is about what? Second step is about selection of operating system. Which operating system do you want in your laptop? Same way here AWS is asking in your CPU which operating system you want to run. So there is Amazon's backed Linux. This is very fast and very lightweight. Okay, so this is one of the AWS Linux. Second is Mac OS. We can also install Mac OS. Okay, then we can install Ubuntu. What is Ubuntu? It is another Linux operating system. But please, everyone, please understand whatever is being shown here is not the normal operating system. All these are the server operating system. Do you understand the difference between server operating system and normal operating system? Anyone can? Put some light on it. What is the difference between server OS and normal OS?
Server OS won't have the graphical interface, and then the other will.
Yeah, that's the first one, right? Correct. Any other difference? Server is meant for what? Providing the services to other clients, right? Because when we have server, we are having server client relationship. So server can offer the services to multiple clients, while our operating systems, which is on the laptop, is just like a client. Okay, so they whenever you want to communicate something, then you have to have any software which will act like a server. So that is another difference, that in the server they have capability of threading. Threading means multiple resource sharing. So we can select any one out of these three. If you are not sure, below you can see there is one drop down list. If you click on this, can you see certain names? It is saying Amazon Linux AMI free eligible. Amazon Linux 2 again free eligible, right? Then others are not free, they are paid. Again, you are using Amazon Linux 2, again it is free eligible. This is within the Amazon Linux. The moment I select Mac OS, so my options will come as per the Mac OS. Downside. Image means what? Operating system का virtual software. Okay. Operating system's virtual software is called as AMI or image actually, but it is Amazon, so that is why they are saying it AMI. What we are interested to use, there is Windows Server as well. There is a Red Hat Linux, again another type of Linux. There is almost 132 different types of l- operating system into the Linux. All are free to use. Okay. So then there is Mac, then there is Ubuntu, then there is SUSE Linux, then there is Mint, then there is SUSE is very famous server Linux. Okay, 90% of places we use this OpenSUSE. Now I'm selecting Ubuntu because it is proper or unaltered Linux operating system. So I am selecting Ubuntu now. It is a server Ubuntu. Okay, so let's say I have selected Ubuntu and now I'm scrolling down. So say I have decided that I'm purchasing a laptop or I'm purchasing a server with the Ubuntu operating system. Okay, just I think since this website was open for a long time, I think it is taking some time. Sometimes this gets logged out because of inactivity. Okay. Now, third thing is very important, that is called as key pair. This is what I was talking about. Whenever you are using different types of, you know, uh, SDK login, CLI login, or console login, there are three methods, no, with which you can log in into your cloud account. Root account, if you want to log in, there are three methods. One is this user ID and password method, which is called as console. Second one was CLI method, and third one was SDK method, where your software development kit is actually connecting to the cloud system. So except a CLI console, everywhere this key pair is required. So you can select any key. Okay, this is one key by default present. Otherwise, you can generate the new key pair. Moment you generate the new key pair, make sure you download that, and then you can provide that key pair to your SDK key pair in your CLI command. Then only you will be able to log into your cloud services. Otherwise, not. Otherwise, you have to use this ID and password based mechanism. Since we are not that much, this is very fast server, so that's why I will not use key pair because I'm using login console method. So I'll use this. It is said that it is not recommended. Okay. Then I'm going to the next fourth thing for the setup. And this is very important one. This is now for the cloud security. What is that? Network setting. In the network setting, every time whenever you make any server, a default network policy will come in play. Okay. And it has some policy number or name that is called as VPC ID. So you can see here it is written as some VPC ID. And how do we assign public IP? It is auto assigned. Now here I'll tell you what is public IP. I think everybody knows what is public IP. So we have private and public IP. Public IP is for the internet access, okay, and private IP may be distributed by your router for the internet purpose and all, right? So public IP is actually the website, okay. So if you know that, let's say Amazon.com or maybe Google.com. So what is the DNS address of Google.com? Public IP address of the Google.com? It is 8.8.8.8, 4 times 8. That is the public IP. So public IP is unique and which is across the global. Okay. So there are limited number of public IPs. So if I talk about one organization, so the organization where I work, they have got only two public IPs. With that two public IPs, we are generating almost 2000 private, 2000 different computers are there. So we are using different way of subnetting and finally putting out the router and they are distributing their public IP, private IP. So means data will be gathered and finally it is from my organization. All data will go outside the organization by using this public IP only. So that is what is required. Every website, every single website is actually having a public IP. Since we do not want to remember public IP address, we remember website name. So whenever you have a website name, that means it is a public website name. We remember, but it is having what? It's public IP. There is a public IP for this. And who is doing this conversion from website name to public IP? The name is that server called as DNS, domain names system. So it will check whether it is within the domain of .com, .org, .in, .australia, .au, .uk, .us, whatever. And accordingly, it will try to get the public IP from some of the famous DNS servers. But what about the websites which are there, but their name you do not know, and they have not disclosed their public IP as well? That is called as darknet. So entire internet, what you know is 20%, and 80% of internet is actually dark internet. Okay, because they are only working with respect to public IP address. Until unless you don't know their public IP address, you cannot reach to their website. So that is one thing. So here it is auto assigning of the public IP present. Okay. Then there is what? Security groups. Since it is very first one, and we have to launch the instance, that is why I'm not tapping into own security group. We will create this into coming sessions. Right now I'm allowing only one traffic, that is called as SSH, that is called as secure cell, and I'm not allowing HTTP, HTTPS. So if you want to allow internet capability in your server, you have to check these two boxes as well. And later on, we will edit how exactly we can do this. Can you see a pop-up over here which is saying rules with the source 0.0.0/0. That means any IP address. That means all IP address. To access your instance, we recommend that it is allowed only for the known IP address only. This is coming from Amazon trusted provider, trusted advisors. This is they are giving you that you please follow these norms. However, we are not following. Then there is 8 GB of space I'm taking. How much GB of space is allocated to us? That is 30 GB. Here, you can create two partitions, three partitions, like that. You can add new volume also. So when you create a new volume, you can add one more 8 GB. I can remove this also. Okay, so that's all. So advanced options are there. I'll tell you later. So now what we have did, we have selected a name for it. We have selected an operating system for it. Now we have to select the instance type. What is this instant type? Okay, so I'll just click in over here. So for free eligible, we have only one server which is called as T2 Micro. So I have selected only T2 Micro. Okay. If it is readable, can anyone tell me what is the cost of my operating system if I'm using single core processor and 1 GB RAM? How much is the charge I'm attracting? Can anyone read? Is it very small?
It's like 12 cents per hour, it says USD for Linux.
Yeah, for Linux, best pricing is shown 0.0116 USD per hour. That goes up to, is it 10 cents or 1.1 cents?
Oh, that's
One cent.
1.1
Yeah,
cents. Yeah.
I think it is one because it is after 1 0 extra. So after decimal. So means 1 cent per hour. Let's round it to 2 cents. 2 cents per hour. If you use it for 24 hours, how many cents will it become? 48 cents. It is just 50, under 50 cents, means half dollar, right? So this is see the how much cheap that cloud services are. That is why maximum startups, maximum uh, new businesses are adopting this cloud, and that is why we need to learn cloud. We need to go on to the cloud because everybody should know the cloud. It is now new normal. If you know Microsoft Office 365 or any office or any documentation editing software, same way you should know the cloud. So this is the billing, and this is the one of the um, um, processor we have used. There are other options also. If I click on drop down, there will be other options, but those other options will they are not free. Okay, their charges are there, and see the charges are more for all this. Okay, so we should not select because it is our credit card, so we have to avoid extra charges. We have to be well within this $100 range. So once we have selected everything, now I go to on the right hand side down, and I'll select on the launch instance. The moment I press on the launch instance, it will check all the security things. If any error is there, any warning is there, it will generate that warning as well. So means at every instance, you will be getting these understandings that where is the warning and the other things. Now it is asking for the rules. It will try to launch new web server. It will and which is if anyone has installed any operating system on your laptop, if you have done some time back, you may remember how much time will it take to install one operating system. I think it is not less than half an hour. Am I correct?
Yes.
But here we have just within 1 minute we have launched successfully with Ubuntu server. This is the beauty of cloud computing, that we have immediately started one virtual operating system with particular power, particular processor, particular 8 GB of volume. Okay, so that server is now ready. My instance is ready. I want it to or instance or just click on dashboard. The moment I reach to dashboard, I will be getting this dashboard, and I'll just check that whether that server has come here in the listing or not. So this is how we launch any instance. Can you see web server 1 has come here? It is saying it is running pending. It should show 2 by 2 checks passed. And other details are also here. See, the availability zone is US East 1. The name of your server, the instance ID, which is very unique, and it is running. And which machine is there? T2.micro. This is one CPU with 1 GB RAM. That is the code for T2.micro. I'll tell you this in detail in the further coming sessions also. So this is server now initializing. Moment once I get this on, then it is up and running. So it is taking some permissions and necessary dependencies because it is a huge thing that you are setting onto AWS server your account and you are making one service live from there. They have to give you actually some server space in there. So definitely somewhere there they have the servers and there our system is getting installed and it is getting live now. So within 2 minutes, it is coming live. Since I'm using the uh, AWS provided Academy console, I'm not using my own account. I'm the like Academy AWS Academy trainer. So that is why I'm using that account. If we are using our own account, this process will be even much faster. So once initialization is done, it is completed, then we can uh, start that instance. When you want to start that instance, that time you have to click on connect. Select this server and then click on connect. That is the process. And while selecting, you will encounter some warnings also because we have left out the security part where we have allowed anybody to log in our server from any IP address across the globe. That is not advisable. Okay, but since we are launching the first server, we are just using that. Okay, so I'll just refresh this again. Click on refresh button here, and now see it is up and running. And I'll just click on it, web server 1. I've selected this and see the connect button is enabled now. Now I'm connecting this. I am selecting this connect button, and now this server will start getting connected. Whether you want to see the warning is portal is open. Port 22 is called a CNC port. It should not be open to anybody. Otherwise, they may exploit our server. Okay. But since nobody knows my IP address, I'm safe at present. And see what is there. EC2 instance connect using EC2 instance point and all this. And this is my public IP address. Okay, so if I have any web domain, I can connect this to that web domain. So my website, when I put my website name, it will come to this public IP and it can start this server. So that is the public IP address. Please remember, understand. We will need this. Now I'm click on connect, and if everything is right, everything is correct, then our Ubuntu server will start. And see here it is starting. here it is written what the public IP address and private IP address. Public IP address is for the internet user and private IP address is used within the AWS. Every server is public, one is private, and public is for access or from anywhere across the globe. Yeah. So if that window has come, that means now this is okay. Means I have installed the Ubuntu server. So now Ubuntu server is up and I have installed that server. Can you see the IP address over here? This is 172 dot something. So this is the IP address. I'll just press 10-15 times enter button. So it is saying Ubuntu server at this IP address. Okay. So now Ubuntu server is okay. And if you know some Ubuntu command, I'll just use sudo is super user do. That is the admin right. Sudo apt space update. It means I want to update the uh, operating systems applications. So yeah, after installation, every time you need to update your um apps to the latest version, like you update your phone. Same way, see it has been updated. It is also saying that there are certain packages which can be upgraded as well. So this is my Ubuntu server is now up and running. Now I can install any software in it and I can run it. So it will take some more time to install. That is why I'm avoiding it now. I'll cover that into the upcoming session. And I'll install one web server in this, and so that we all can you can use you can see that web page even in your cell phone by using the same IP address. This is how you can go global within few minutes by using sorry exit or log out, so whatever you want to do. So I'll just close this instance. Now if I log out directly, it will keep on running and I'll be charged with. So until unless you are not, can you see which I have used my training has allotted me $50 and out of $50 I have used $1.3 till now. It will keep on increasing in the coming sessions. Okay. So same way in your billing also it will come. So it is advisable if it is not useful and you don't want your website up for 24 cross 7, then you stop this server. And if you want your website to be up for 24 cross 7, then please make it running. But there will be the charges. These charges will be very, very nominal. Means within 1 year you will get hardly $2-3 max. And that is within $100. So you will not be charged. So, but I want to stop both of the server because I don't want to start the billing. So I'll just go to the select both of them, go to the instance, making EC2 instance up and running. So making EC2 instance up and running. We did default security. We did not change the security, but I will learn how to change the security, how to secure the servers. Okay, so this is one of the demonstration. Okay, I hope you have got something from it, and we are going to do this 2-3 more times in every session. So don't worry, you will later on you will understand. This will be a normal thing for you all after few sessions. Okay, so anything, any doubt, anyone to ask or anything that is okay, and then we can stop this session now. Is that fine? Did you? I hope you all have got something to got some understanding. We have just tried to start one EC2 instance. We launched that instance. We started that instance. We have made Ubuntu server live, and some software we can install it in the further session. Is it okay? Fine.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. 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 So see you all in the next session. Okay. And
Yeah.
then we'll do it further.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.